Video is going to be simple. It's going to be, why do we need to get in the head of these silly Sonic fans that always like playing the original Sonic games? Why do we need to get in their heads? Why do we need to talk about them? And what's wrong with them, right? What's wrong with them? Recently, talked about how Sally coming back. And many people are kind of skeptical about Sally coming back. But I'm like, oh, so you're skeptical, huh? So let's play the starting game of Sonic. Let's not even have Sonic in here, okay? Which should be scary enough for you, because Sonic's not in there. Okay? He's not there. And I'm going to show you guys something. Because when you're trying to talk about Sonic games, you got to put research into it, okay? You got to be like, woohoo! First, where do we begin, really? I mean, this whole thing is scary. Is so scary you would not even... Okay, I'm not even going to add resources that I've talked about, too. Because the whole point of showing you something scary is showing you right from the beginning without the game even playing, right? Okay? So, starting playing this game, okay? Where are we going to zoom up? We're going to zoom up here. What does that look like to you? Hold on, let me zoom up quicker for you. What does that look like to you? That doesn't take any imagination to know what that looks like. See what that looks like? That looks like a mouth. And that looks like you only can use your imagination, you know, what that is. But, you know, it's kind of easy to understand what that is, okay? Because to understand what this is, all right, would be kind of like a soul sucker, right? Now you're probably wondering, what's a soul sucker doing in a Sonic the Hedgehog game, okay? Well, what was on your Sega system? Oh, that's right, a game called Soul Hackers. Okay, all right. Now, that should be just enough. But, you know, that's not enough for them. That's never enough for people. Never enough for them. They're just like, oh, man, I need to be convinced, you know? Look at these clouds. The clouds are probably the most annoying one because you have, like, no argument to the clouds. And you could try and argue with the clouds all you want, but arguing with the clouds is probably the dumbest thing ever. I would love to see a Sonic fan argue to me about the clouds. That's the goal. Just please argue to me about the clouds, please. Because let me tell you what the problem is with the clouds, okay? The problem is I've seen what the problem is with video game clouds, okay? It doesn't even help us that we got this going on here, which I've talked about in the past, right? That we got those two. Think about how old of game Sonic is, you know? And we got that stuff right there. But that's not the point. That's not the point of the clouds. Because the clouds love to have cool things like that. To be like, yo, I'm a video game, you know? The whole point behind the cloud that makes it so creepy, okay? Is we start to look at these clouds, right? Because one, they don't look like normal clouds, right? They look exactly what you think they do. They look creamy. And you're probably like, well, where's the creamy? There's a creamy right there. I gotta zoom in on for you. There's a cream right there. There's a cream right there. That is 100% a cream. It's so creamy that my camera literally says, oh no. That's, let me see, where is it? And this stuff, what's crazy about this stuff, too, is not just focusing on cream. Because cream's a pretty easy thing to get to, okay? One of the things that's very complex, and we'll talk about it, okay, is what I like to call tail. Because describing the terminology for this in a mature way is really hard to. But, like, this is called a tail. Now, let me describe to you what a tail is, Sonic fans, okay? A tail is pretty messed up. A tail can be many things. A tail can be a female's leg. A tail can be a male's butt. A tail can be an arm. Now, you're probably like wondering, well, why are they doing this with the clouds? Well, if you think about like when Sonic was designed, when the whole entire game was designed and made, right? Because it was a project to go against Mario, right? So that's the whole thing behind Sonic. Sonic was a whole project to go against Mario, okay? So they're going to use a lot of good textures, but they're not going to use as good as textures as Mario's going to be, you know, right? So in order to compensate for not having those kind of textures, they're going to try and go a different route because Mario's using a different form of textures. So Sonic is going to use a different form of textures. It's not going to be as polished as a Mario game, but it's going to be textures that's going to be able to rival with it. Now, here's a crazy thing that we even have in this that makes Sonic such a complex game. It's this right here, this tiny little thing right here. Because you'd probably go with, there's many ways you could go. You could go with a gate, right? You could go with the typical, oh, this must be part of math, or this must be a part of English, right? You would go with that. But those are two stupid answers. Those are like two dumb answers. And the answer is the one you don't want it to be. And that's normally what the answer is. And the answer is, it's simply a hand. It's always been a hand. And here you are looking at a cloud, and you've been looking not at a cloud, you've been looking at an actual hand cut off of an arm. Now, for people, they just don't get that. They don't get that. They don't get, like, think about it. Sonic the Hedgehog, he's wearing gloves, right? Have you seen his hands without his gloves? No, you've needed a comic book to even see him without his shoes, right? So you've needed an actual comic book. So when you argue against the comic book's at least showing you Sonic's feet, that Sonic has feet, right? But if you're going old school original Sonic, guess what? It's almost like the star is telling you, hey, there is no hands. Hey, there is no feet on Sonic, you know? Hey, this is what Sonic is. And now you're probably wondering, well, why is Sonic so detailed and scary like this? Why would it be detailed and scary like any of this, right? Why would it have any remoteness to this or what this is? Well, think about the people who have worked and produced Sonic, okay? They've made movies like Godzilla. They've worked with TV shows. They've worked with music. They've worked on Gundam. Okay. Now, anime, you can do almost anything in anime. There's no secret that anime does not care how far they go. They just don't care. And many people that you know that like Gundam, try and research a person that actually likes Gundam and try and realize why they like Gundam. And you'll find out that they drink alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, like, almost about like 98% people who like Gundam are drinking alcohol. And I'm just telling it like it is. But that's a whole entire other topic. I mean, like, you're gonna get into the people who like Transformers and Gundam. You gonna go down that? Okay, good luck with that, Sonic fan. All right, good luck. Because do you know how long Transformers and G.I. Joe have been out? Okay, all right. Anyway, let's try not even talk about, you know, G.I. Joe and like assassins, right? Let's try not, you know, talk about assassinations, you know, right? Let's just try and stay back to Sonic, right? Let's stay back to Sonic for a minute, okay? So, this right here, like, what kind of form of imagination do you need to be like, oh, okay, well, this should just be like, you know, tree bushes, right? But here's a problem that we run into once again. Here's a problem we run into again. What is a common book that everybody pays attention to on this planet? The Bible. What does the Bible talk about? Bushes, right? Bushes. What do we have on these bushes? We have some crazy things on these bushes, don't we? Look at that. It's not even like they have to make it detailed, guys. Let me tell you, the reason they have to make this detailed, they're competing against a top-rated video game. So they have to have something that would say to them, hey, I'm going to buy an expensive Sega system and I'm going to play Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Now, here's the trees, right? Trees are more important than the bush. Not really, not too much more important. But what can we see with the trees? Look at that. It's like, hello. That's what we can see with the trees. And now, what is this, people? What is this? Well, it's a no-brainer what this is. And it's kind of scary what this is. Also scary if we've watched the new Sonic content, we know what that is, but we're not going to get into that, okay? Because remember, we're staying on old content, right? Because the point of making something scary is when it's scary and you don't need any of the resources around it, right? Okay. So this right here, this little tiny thing right here, okay, should not be in any imagination to you what this could be. I'll even start to do it. Like, see that? I'll do a little bit of that. And I'll even do a little bit of that so you get a picture. Okay? That's a pretty good picture, isn't it? Now, what do you have below the trees, right? What do you have below the trees in this dang evil Sonic game? What do you have below the trees? Oh, that's right. You have what we call a body of water, right? So a body of water. An ocean! Sonic the Hedgehog. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you. Okay, so notice how this body of ocean, if you know anything about geology, you would know about this, but like a body of ocean that's floating up above to like the hemisphere, like the equator of this, that's floating to trees. And you know, some people don't like flat earth people, or like they say they don't like people that like study lines and all that. But here's the thing. Have you ever been to one of these islands? No, you haven't. Have you noticed that there's a funny video you can watch, just like a funny casual video you can watch, that a leopard is so, I don't know if it was a leopard, it was some kind of primal cat, but a primal cat is so determined to eat that they'll swim in water. They'll swim up to a human, they don't care about the human, they'll swim up to the water and try and eat the human, you know? So, and you're like thinking to yourself, is this water really clean? No, it's a simple answer. The water's never been clean. Of course, it's like a pool. You know, us as humans, what have we invented? We've invented purification, right? We've invented boiling. We've invented methods to change water so we can drink water. It's no secret that we know if we drink regular water, we're going to get seasick, we're going to get diarrhea, we're going to get all kinds of things, you know? So we have to like change the bacteria levels in water. See how common that is. Okay, so we haven't even paid attention to the logo as much because it's trying to get you to understand. It's trying to get you to understand this because it's like when they made this video game, they had an idea, you know? The reason they had an idea like this in a video game, okay? The reason video games are so smart and they have ideas like this is it's the simple idea of, one, they kind of hate, they hate that they wasted their time and effort making a product like this. And they're trying to sell this product, right? And then they have to deal with people that's not letting them sell the product, you know? Like, here's something like it's hard for me to focus on all this scary stuff, but like I'll do it for you, okay? See, look at this. Smile face, right? But let's try not to focus on the smile face. No, let's go a little bit further because it's already a scary smile face, but who cares about the smiley face, right? Because the smiley face being scary, there's no point of just having a problem with that. Here's a problem that we should have. What is that, people? Well, if people studied anything and they actually read books like they claim they do, or if they studied culture, which they claim they do, or they studied anything, which they claim they do, they would understand what this is. And they wouldn't be even shocked or amazed what that is. Guess what that is? You already know what that is. That's the Goita. You already know it is. Trying to be a number 4? Pfft, get out of here. When you zoom up, rather than just trying to be a regular number 4, we got corners, we got abstract lines, we got it for you. We even got the evil argument of, that's a person! So it's a Sonic game with a person in the background, you know what I'm saying? It's like a Sonic game of a person that possibly either fell out of a tree, you know, use your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Look at that top area. Use your imagination. Just use your imagination. And it's really that easy. It's not like they're trying to make it hard on you. And you see, like, if you're like, oh, that's just one example of the Goita. No, look right down here. You flip this upside down, flip it the way, got these two blocks. Now, floating blocks is a common side in religion, of a floating block that's next to another block. That's a pretty easy thing to understand. And then you even have these lines, which are crazy. These are like thin lines. This is just part of our human language, too, though. So don't be like it's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. You gotta realize, Goita, if you're actually gonna be a pastor or whatever you're trying to be, you're gonna have to study all kinds of religions. You're not gonna study one religion. You're gonna study a bunch of religions. It's bad enough that right now we got a hand down there, you know, right? So we got a hand popping out of water. Get what I'm saying? Rather than just trying to look at it as a water current, how about you try and look at it as a little hand being popped out of water? Okay? All right. I like to do this because this is like a precision talk. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's kind of like, pay attention to this first, and then make a guesstimated opinion on Sally. You know, make a guesstimated opinion on Sally. Also try and see that Sally was kind of a new direction, right? Because when they first started out, they went all out, you know? When they first started out, Sonic the Hedgehog, they went all the way out. Because they were like, well, if this doesn't be successful, which there was a lot of talks of that. If this does not be successful, then it's just, you know, something you find at a flea market, right? Okay, so now, let's see here. Do it. And that's what it really boils down to. If you ever made a product other than a video game, try and do that. Make a product besides a video game and see how well it does. You know what I mean? Because it's taken me, guys, to make my cartoons. It's taken me quite a bit. It just depends on, like, it could take you, oh man, it could take you, it's really a gamble, because it could take you, I'd say, 4 to 7 years, you know? That's 4 to 7 years out of your life you got to take out of your life to make sure you're making a product that somebody's going to want to go and purchase and not be like, oh, I don't want to purchase this, you know? That's the thing that you're working with. And the common thing I want to bring up right now is, do you know how hard it is, really? Because, like, there's games like Ico, there's games like Jak and Daxter, there's movies, there's canceled TV shows of vampires, right? There's many products that fly under the radar, you know? They're just not even, like... And then when you try and tell them to somebody, they're like, oh, Crash Bandicoot? Oh, Spyro? Oh, Twilight. I think Twilight. I don't want to say Twilight. I want to say the thing before Twilight. Oh my gosh. Hilary Duff, whatever. I don't know. But, let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you. I've said enough, but I want to say another thing. Just because the more I say, the better it gets. There was one Sonic fan that was listening to my stuff right now, and they're trying to see it. But let me tell something to this Sonic fan. When I got the privilege of playing these first 3 Sonic games, okay? So I got a privilege to play these first 3 Sonic games, rather than just being like a fanboy, you know? For the longest time, I pretended like, you know what? This ain't too bad, you know? This ain't too bad of a Sonic game, you know? Didn't even go with my opinions, you know? I was just like, well, there's people around me that want to play Sonic, and I don't want to get into an argument with people about Sonic. So, you know, let me do this. Now, if you're going to read the original interview to Sonic, because I've actually talked to the guy that made Sonic, surprisingly. Isn't that a shocker? I really have. I've talked to this guy. And let me tell you something about him. He's pretty smart. It's pretty smart. You know what? You know what? I cannot believe what I could say to you guys. I want to say this to you because this is something you want to hear. So, yes, the original interview where it's like when they first came up with Sonic the Hedgehog, they were first like, hey, let's make Sonic a female. Get what I'm saying? Let's not make Sonic a male. Let's make him a female. So, the whole entire thing when a Sonic fan says to you, I am a Sonic fan, or they say, I know Sonic the Hedgehog, they're kind of running on empty, you know? I mean, now clearly we would know that there'd be other female protagonists that would come out. There would be Nemissa for Sega Saturn. There would be Enemy Zero having a female. Not just one female, 2 females, you know? Actually, 3 probably. Just that there was a total. All the cast of characters in Enemy Zero. But you see that Enemy Zero is another game that people are slowly catching up on, and some people just aren't catching up on. But like, yeah. So this is what like a hardcore Sonic video looks like. It kind of comes off like, I wouldn't say boring. It just comes off more like, this is a video game. You know, it comes off like even trying to like look at the logo. There's so many things when you look at Sonic, right? You got Hog. Hog's pretty crazy to have, right? You got C for like, you know, horseshoe. You ever played a game where you throw a horseshoe around? Or have you ever bitten into a donut? You know? There's so many funny things with Sonic, dude. I mean, Sonic's eating a chili dog and trying to be friendly about it, but, you know, I mean, come on. Sonic the Hedgehog is eating a chili dog. Now, do you know anything about hedgehogs? Well, an actual hedgehog eating a chili dog is kind of out there, isn't it? Yeah, it's just a little out there. And then when you think about the theory that you don't want to think about, but you're just like, I got to think about it, right? You think about, why is Sonic eating a hot dog? Isn't that a crazy theory? Because it brings up, like, multiple theories. It brings up, like, is this even Sonic the Hedgehog? Is this a human? Because what we know about Sonic is that he has skin. He has skin. He doesn't have, like, just color blue. He has skin. He has gloves. He has shoes. His mottos are hilarious, right? He waves his finger. In the original Sonic, he just waves his finger. Do you know how many people born before our lifetime have just went out there and just waved their finger? Just waved their finger. I don't know how much research you would put into that, but it's been a long time ago. It's even been in baseball. There's been a lot of baseball players. So if you want to go and like look at all the baseball players that are like, you know, hitting home runs and waving their finger, or if you want to go to all the baseball players that are, you know, and then you think about like Japanese culture, how they love baseball. But okay. You see, I'm laughing at this Sonic fan right now. I'm laughing at them. The reason I'm laughing at them is it's like, the whole adventure thing is driving them insane because the whole 3D Sonic games, right? That's what's driving them nuts. And I like a good 2D Sonic gameplay. I love playing the red ball stages in Sonic, right? The red ball stages, even like the mini games I didn't think I would like the one where you're flying around, where you're hitting back and forth. I really enjoyed Sonic Pinball, but not many people enjoy Sonic Pinball. But really, you should enjoy Sonic Pinball because Sonic Pinball doesn't Sonic Pinball is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, so you feel all this energy of Sonic, you know. So you understand why you would actually like Sonic. Now, the only reason I know this about Sonic the Hedgehog, okay, is because think about it. It's a hedgehog facing machines. What does that sound to you? It sounds like, what? Animals versus machines. And we know what the result, what's the result always been when an animal faces a machine? Oh, normally the result is the machine comes out on top. Very rarely does the animal come out on top. And if the animal comes out top, it's not a hedgehog, it's a hog, like a pig, you know? It's normally like a hog. But, it's really easy to say. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is really easy to say. And that's what's the crazy part, that it's like, come on, people, this is easy to say. And then we're like, angel wings? A Sonic logo with angel wings? What is that about? Never forget that females can be named Angel, right? We don't have to just assume right away it's like, oh, this is angel wings. Never forget Top Gun, right? Never forget Top Gun. Don't forget that classic movie. Don't forget that it's a logo. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. They love hearing a good talk from a Sonic nerd like me. Like not like Sonic nerd, but like a nerd of me talking about this, right? But the reason I even speak about this... The reason I speak about this is I'm like, there's a chance that, oh my gosh, I just even want to put that in there just because I see it. I see too many things in this. That's pretty messed up. That, of course, is messed up. It doesn't help that we have that up there with this down there, right? That's messed up enough, right? Okay. So maybe there's people that literally hate Chao Garden, but you hate Chao Garden, but that's right there. But you hate Chao Garden, right? Okay. All right. Even though preferably a 2D Sonic game with Chao Garden is fun. Who would have thought? Who would have thought a 2D Sonic game adding a Chao Garden, and it's amazing? Yeah. Okay. All right. But like, I mean, right now the creators of Sonic, it's kind of funny. They are kind of having an easy part of their job, and you're not even realizing the easy part of their job they're having. Sonic Colors was actually a really good 3D game. Sonic Secret Rings, amazing, the best Sonic game, because it was using a bunch of different designs and different gameplay elements, right? But now they just are like, oh, cool, we can just put 2D elements, and we can put a game of 2D elements. We don't even have to work on 3D environments, you know? We don't have to work on, like, there were some amazing parts in Sonic Colors. There were some parts in Sonic Colors where they were willing to, like, make the background and everything good. And now they're like, oh, man, we could add 2D levels to Sonic Lost World? Oh, man, we could add 2D stuff? And as long as we add this 2D stuff, people will enjoy this 2D stuff, you know? Oh, man. Sonic Adventure is a very underrated game. If you're wondering why Sonic Adventure is such a high-rated game, it's because it's a very good game. It's a very good game. Very, very good game. And it's very affordable, too. So, yeah. But, like, okay. So, try and imagine how powerful Sonic is that it has affordable games, right? And it's kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. It's like, but the game that's free, it's this game, and Sonic 2. Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 are free games. Did you know that? These are free games, guys. But if we talk about 3D Sonic, it's going to make people's heads explode, you know? Never mind that Sega Saturn actually had a really good 3D Sonic game, and there was Sonic 3D Blast, and, you know, but, like, there's a really good Sonic 3D game that was not even like a game, it was kind of just like an option menu thing, but like it was kind of like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Sonic CD, you know, showing off how cool a 3D world would be. And you know, honestly, with as pretty as like Super Nintendo and Sega graphics are, right? It'd be kind of cool to see them make a 3D Sonic with those kind of graphics, but here they are where they can just settle and be like, 2D Sonic!